Hi, welcome to What We're Reading with Writerspace. I am Bobbi.
Hi, I'm Lorelei.
And I'm Kaylin. And every Friday, we're going to be here on live to talk about what we're currently reading and all the books we're loving.
And if you love books, be sure to listen to the outro for more opportunities to talk with readers about great books. So, let's get started.
Hi. For those of you who might happen to be seeing this, I'm probably going to repeat myself a little, so the recording will pick this up. I am here with Lorelei and Kaylin, and I'm Bobbi, and we are with Writerspace, and we love to read, and we love books, and we're all big book cheerleaders, so we thought it would be fun once a week to come on live and talk about books. Right now, we're just getting started, so we may change the format moving forward, but today we're here just to talk about books as a Facebook Live, and I am going to let Lorelei get started. Tell us what you're reading, Lorelei.
Hello. Well, I'm so glad we started this week because I can talk about what it is that I'm currently reading. And so actually I'm listening to audiobooks, but the book that I am listening to is called Not That Kind of Proposal by Virginia Lavine. If you don't know, she's the author of Any Trope But You. And I have to say, this one is an enemies to lovers, and Gracie is the heroine, and she is a hopeless romantic wedding planner. And he is a cynical divorce lawyer. So the place where she works, her boss passes away and leaves the business to the grandson. But he does not, as you can tell, he's a divorce lawyer. He doesn't believe in happily ever afters or things like that. And she's a hopeless romantic and wants to keep the business going, and he wants to sell it. So the thing is she has to try to convince him to not sell the property so that he can continue. So I am loving it. Very much her humor and banter. Yes, he's falling in love, but anyway, there's great other secondary characters, so I'm enjoying it so much. Another book that I have on queue to listen, I'm about like 30% into Not That Kind of Proposal, but I also have this one, not in my book, which is by Katie Holt. This was her debut. And this says, Rosie writes romance novels and listens to Taylor Swift on loop. Aiden is a literary fiction writer who doesn't believe in happy endings. That they're about to write a book together. What could go wrong? So kind of almost the same thing, but different stories. So this one is about a bookstore. So we're going to see. I'm excited to see what happens with that one. And that was her debut. And she also has this one coming out, this one that came out recently this year, which is The Last Page. So I'm excited about that. Oh, this one is about the bookstore. And the other one is about writing a book. Or they're going to work together. Those two are on audio. So on my Kindle, though, I got from the Amazon First Reads, this book is How to Ruin a Wedding by Elba Luce. And this is her debut, and it is hilarious. I wanted to say the meet cute on this one was, she's like a wedding crasher. So it says, when a professional wedding crasher storms the wrong party, and irresistibly charming man enlists her service for a job that's about to give her outlook on love a run for its money. So she is broke, and her job is to
ruin weddings.
To ruin weddings. But the way she does it, she's so clever and, and just hilarious. So that's on my Kindle that I'm listening to. So those are the three. Should I mention the one that I just got, but I haven't uploaded yet? which is from Christina Dodd, Teach the Torches to Burn. That's the third book of this, The Daughter of Fair Verona, the series from Christina Dodd. So I read this one and loved it. And yes, that's the Romeo and Juliet. That's the Rosie from this story. So I have to catch up because I have to read too.
So that's a perfect segue for me because I'm
Yes.
going to jump in here and say I don't have the audio yet. I've started the Kindle, but reading takes me forever these days because I just don't have time to read. But I'm going to jump in and say if you have not discovered this series, I think both will highly, highly, highly recommend it. The first one, which is Daughter of Fair Verona, it's the Daughter of Montague series. And the third book just came out, and there's a couple novellas in the middle. And each one of those was one of my favorite books from the year that it came out. So the second one came out last year, the first one came out the year before. And so I have started Teach the Torches to Burn, and it's just hysterical. All of her books, and it's set, so it's the trope thing that she does is that the main character, Rosalind, is the daughter of Romeo and Juliet, who did survive and went on to have a very loving marriage and like 8 kids or something. And she's the oldest. And these books are just fantastic. And even though they're like quote unquote historical, they are incredibly like feminist centered or female centered, but they're just amazing, and they do not read like historical novels. So just saying that. So we're on the same page about those. So
Yes.
I'm gonna talk about a couple of my books, and I always have I don't have books. I tend to either do Kindle or audio. So maybe someday if we put it on YouTube, we'll go in and put the covers. But so I just finished Extra-Curricular by Rachel Lynn Solomon, and I think I've read almost all of the books that she's had since she debuted. They are very sexy, very I find them very smart, but this one is like think kind of Taylor Swift pop star kind of person who gives it all up and goes back to school and falls in love with her professor. And they kind of have this they have a not meet cute, they have a very tense sort of first meeting and then wind up falling in love, and she just loves his normalcy, and he's coming out of a bad relationship, so he's kind of wary. And but I just really recommend her. She's lovely, she's contemporary, and all of her books are just a little bit elevated. Oh, that's
Sorry,
hello.
trying to check the comments to make sure we weren't missing something.
But just they're very hot, they're very sexy, but she does a really, really great job of exploring complicated emotional situations that the authors are going through. And especially, and I can never remember the names of the characters, but the main female character, who's this Taylor Swift-ish kind of person, has real issues with her mother, who basically stopped being a mother and became a manager and then became very critical of her. And so she's sort of trying to figure out how to not have a relationship with her because it's become kind of toxic. So anyway, definitely recommend that. I am so I don't know if it's still going on, but there's this huge Amazon sale that either just ended or is still going on. And you can get, or excuse me, Audible sale. And I got a whole bunch of books for like $3, $3 to $5. And I picked up a few of the Deanna Raybourns that I don't have yet that I'm collecting because I love all of her books. And I got the most recent Kristen Higgins. So Once in a Blue Moon, I think, and I'm in the middle of reading that. And as usual, she's just delightful. So I am enjoying that. And I'm getting into cozy mysteries and mysteries. And I read two that are kind of Agatha Christie based in two different ways, and I just love them. So one is the Cloak and Dagger Club by Jackie McMahon. And it's sort of a take on an actual club that Agatha Christie was part of, and they're all mystery writers. And so Agatha Christie isn't in the book, but it's based on this club that she was in. And this very young mystery writer, I guess in the 30s, is invited to be part of this club, but the person who kind of runs the club is a real jerk and nobody likes him, and he has secrets on everybody, and he gets killed at the first meeting that she goes to, so everybody's a suspect, and then she has to figure out what's going on. And one of the other members is someone she grew up with who was her first love, and he broke her heart. And he, of course, is the person who has the most suspicion on him. So she has to save him, even though they still have a very tricky, complicated relationship. So I really, really loved that. And then the other one is Mrs. Christie at the Mystery Guild, which is contemporary, but one of the characters is sort of the ghost of Agatha Christie, and she shows up at this in this room where these people are trying to solve a mystery, and it's a very Agatha Christie-esque mystery. Anyway, I just loved it. It takes place in New York at one of these kind of private libraries, and the main character is like the woman who owns the library, and her family is like this old money family, but she's tried to figure out where she belongs, and she inherits this library and kind of then gets involved in this murder, and all the sleuthing takes place in this room in this library where Agatha Christie just sort of shows up, and nobody nobody quite knows, like, is this really her, is this not her? um but it's very Agatha Christie-esque, so it's just lovely. So I loved all of those and definitely recommend them all. So Kaylin, how about you?
I'm going to use Taylor Swift as my segue because you both brought her up, and I happen to be wearing one of my Taylor Swift cardigans today.
Oh.
So I just think it's really funny that she's making so many appearances today in our chat.
Yeah.
So I'm also an audiobook reader, so I mostly consume audiobooks. It's just an easier way for me to retain stories. Although I do firmly believe in book trophies. So I have a lot of books, and I'm trying to get back into reading physical books more, but audiobooks are just easier. So I just finished Circe, which is a book that by Madeline Miller, that I've had on my TBR for probably like 3 years. It came out in 2018, but because our online computer READERSPACE was doing Circe as the book of the month this month, I was like, I'm going to read it. I'm finally going to read it. And because Audible had that sale you just mentioned, I got it for like $5. And unfortunately, I did not finish it in time to do the book of the month chat, but I finished it a couple days ago, and I really loved it. I've always really liked Greek mythology, and I've always found it really interesting, and I didn't know much about Circe. So it was really like kind of like it was nice because as I was reading, I recognized a lot of the names, but I didn't really know that story at all. Granted, it is a retelling, so I'm sure it's not entirely factual, but it still gets around all the pieces of the factual stories. And what's even cooler is that the film The Odyssey is also just come out. So I think the timing of it was really nice to finally read it because my boyfriend wants to go see that film. So now I feel like I'm a little more prepared to go watch it.
Okay, see it on the biggest screen you can.
Yeah.
because it's really good and it is very epic. And seeing it
Yeah,
on a really big screen, we saw it on IMAX, so
nice.
definitely recommend that. So anyway, and
Yeah.
it's great, and
So
Christie is of course in it. So yes.
yeah, which I didn't even know until I think maybe it was you I was talking to. I was talking to someone recently and they're like, yeah, Circe's in that. And I was like, oh, really? Now I'm really excited to see it. So um that's my most recent finish. But I also recently read um Anathema, which is a romantasy. I believe it came out in the last few years. And the second book came out, let's see, I think it was March. It was just a few months ago, just before I read it. And it's part of the Eating Woods series by, let me real quick look up her name, by Keri Lake. So Eldritch is the second book. And so that's up next on my Audible TBR. However, these are like 20 plus hour long books. So I took a little break to read Circe because it was a little bit shorter. But that one's a really cool one. I really like the fantasy element. It's got the fantasy like veil going through the veil, human who's not so human after all, starts to learn things about herself. Turns out she's a witch. And so all of the humans from her village that were calling her one weren't actually so far off. And it's got an enemies to lovers kind of vibe to it as well. And I was really enjoying the first book, so I'm excited to dive into the second book. And I believe a third is coming out soon, if it's not already out. No, it's expected later this year. So, and it's the final book in the trilogy. So I generally try not to read books that are like a series too soon because I don't like being stuck waiting for books for a really, really long time. I like to just devour the whole series as quickly as I can. um, so that's nice that it's like at least almost out. Um, and then like speaking of that, I one of my goals in the next couple weeks, and maybe saying it here on a live platform in front of people will hold me accountable better, is to reread the ACOTAR series because the new book is coming out in October, and then the next one is coming out in January. So I want to remind myself the story before I start. I generally like to reread books before the newest one comes out, especially if they're like a continual story. But another book I also just finished that I really loved is part of a series, but each book works as a standalone, which is Sarah Beth Durst's The Spell Shop series. I just read Sea of Charms. I got really lucky to be able to read it early and get the audiobook of it early. But it came out, I think, just a week and a half ago. It came out at the very end of July. And it was such a sweet little story. I've been really liking cozy, like fantasy stories, like lighthearted, closed door, sweet, fun characters, talking plants. They've been a lot of fun. So that's something I've been reading a lot more of too.
Well, that's interesting that you mentioned that. Because inside ReaderSpace, we have a community and we meet on Wednesdays. But this past week, we had a bring your own books to share what they're reading. And one of the books that they read was The Wednesday Witches Book Club by Beth Durst.
That is on my TBR. I think I even bought a physical copy of it because I'm really liking her books right now. So I'm trying to inspire myself to read physical copies by buying things that I think I really want to read.
Yeah.
So I have that one on my shelf to be read soon.
So a couple of things before we go further with that line of the conversation. So first of all, Lorelei and I have been with Writerspace for some time. And Kaylin is our newest member, and she is a romantasy fan in ways. So Lorelei and I read a lot of everything, but I don't think either of us would say that we're huge fans of romantasy. So we love Kaylin and we love working with Kaylin, but having someone on our book team who loves romantasy is just like the perfect and book end, and we're so excited about that. And I read The Spell Shop. I haven't read any of the others further down the line, and I enjoyed it, but again, I'm not a huge fan, so I'm of romantasy. I did enjoy the book, but so it's great to have Kaylin to be part of that conversation in a way, because romantasy is so huge. And I was really feeling the pressure to at least be able to talk about them. And now I feel like there's a little less of that pressure. So thank you, Kaylin.
Yeah.
I am happy to hold that torch.
Right, there you go.
I'm more of the contemporary romance and historical
Yeah.
romance, the romantic thread.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Contemporary and historical romance subgenres.
I
Yeah.
definitely add a different flair than you all because I love romance and I do read a lot of contemporary romance. I especially love like anything that has like a Hallmark movie vibe. So like around Christmas time, I read a lot of like the shorter like Christmas novella things. Like Cara Bastone is someone I read a lot around Christmas time. I love her. But I also read like sci-fi and dystopian, and I love a good like post-apocalypse story, an adventure story, and I love a romantasy story with like fairies and people who can fly and people with horns. Like it's fun. So I read a little bit of all of it.
Right.
I actually one of the books I happen to have one near me. I read a lot of mystery too. This is a book I will show up. There we go.
In front of
There
you.
you go.
This is a book I've had since high school that I read in high school. I loved it. I don't remember much of it anymore, but I know it's a mystery. And I've kept it because I just remember loving it so much. So this is probably one of the next physical books I'm going to try to read. It's also a relatively smaller book, so I feel like I can accomplish it. But it's Dark Secrets Don't Tell by Elizabeth Chandler. I have no idea where I picked it up. Wow, book prices have changed. It was $4.99.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh my
That's
gosh.
for
Even
another episode.
has my name in there, or I wrote my name on it as like a kid. So this is one I want to reread as well. Which it's more of a mystery. If I remember correctly, it's like someone goes missing and she's looking for her 7 years after her famous mother's mysterious drowning. They said it was an accident, but the tabloids screamed murder. Her father, a senator, hadn't protected her. Aunt Jewel was her only refuge, the beloved grandmother she's returning to see. So
Nice.
I read everything, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
We read everything too, but it's nice to have someone with like different sort of specialties, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely.
But I do also want to we did ask okay, so let us explain a little bit about ReaderSpace, which we've now mentioned a couple of times. So we have a platform, it's a closed platform, and we have readers who are on the platform, and you can join for, I believe right now it's
Right now it's $1 a month.
$1 a month.
Or $10 a year.
Or $10 a year. And we have really great conversations around books. We have events every week, just dedicated to readers. Lorelei is sort of in charge of that.
Challenges, trivia,
Right. Socials. We have, where people just come and talk. So, but one of the things we do is bring your own book, happy hours, and we asked our readers in there to give us a list of some of the books, and they gave us a long list, and we can't get to all of them. We did mention the Sarah
Beth Durst.
Thank you, Sarah Beth. I was like, Sarah Durst Beth. No, that is not
Close.
But they also sent some other ones in, and Lorelei is going to read a couple of those and a couple of historical fiction that we want to.
Yeah, so from the contemporary, we have Dolly All the Time by Annabel Monaghan. Monaghan, sorry.
Monaghan, yep.
Annabel Monaghan.
So I'm gonna jump in again, and I love Annabel Monaghan. I've read everything that she's come out with. I think she came out like 3 or 4 years ago. She has one every year, and she's fantastic, and especially for like most of her characters are sort of 35 to 40, so a little bit older than like a typical romance. And but I just love her, and I loved Dolly All the Time. So sorry, keep going.
And then we have many more, and I think we can add it to this replay. I'll add the full list. Another one we have in historical romance is Lisa Kleypas with Secrets of a Summer Night, and All is Fair in Love and War by Virginia Heath. So Secrets of a Summer Night by Lisa Kleypas. I think I read that way back when I was a newbie historical romance reader.
So that's the Wallflower. That's
Yes.
the Wallflower series, which is one of I say biasedly, one of the best ever series in historical romance. And one of my all-time favorite historical romances is Winter
Devil in Winter.
Devil in Winter, and that is part of that series, and it is just fantastic. But we also wanted to mention that Lisa Kleypas, after almost 10 years, I think her last one was like 2018 or something,
Yeah.
has a
So it's
new
about
book
8 years.
coming out in October. So exciting. I understand that it is not a romance, it is historical
Historical fiction.
fiction. And I can't think of the name of it right now, but
We'll put it in the
everybody
notes.
everybody who loves romance is getting excited about another Lisa Kleypas. So yay, Lisa Kleypas.
Yeah.
Um
And
of
Virginia
course,
Heath.
and Virginia Heath, of course, is one of the big names right now in historical romance. So that's I read her first two, I think, in that
Yeah, this is the third one.
yeah.
And it's really good. It's really
Yeah. Very
so.
cute. Any others?
Any others? Well, we have other contemporaries. We have Next in Line by Amy Daws. That's another big one. And Yes, Chef by Grace Riley.
I have that in my to be listened to pile, so maybe I need
Yes.
to go back and
It
listen
was
to that
highly
one.
recommended, and I'm already looking for it to be on queue. So hopefully I will share that one as well as when we're reading next time.
I
Very
just
cool.
I was gonna say, why does Amy Daws sound familiar? I just read one of her books just a couple weeks ago. Wait with Me. It was,
Yes.
yeah, a cute little like shorter one.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. It was really cute.
Yeah.
Yes. I know it's part of a series, so I don't know if Next in Line is
Mhm.
the series or it's the title, but Amy Dawes is definitely
What was it?
Next in Line.
Oh, it's number two in the series that I started. So the one
Oh,
I just said, Wait with Me, is the first one. Next in
yes.
Line is number two. And then there's one more after that. Or no, oh, there's quite a few after that, actually.
Yes.
It kept loading.
Yes. 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 No.
But very cute. I really like that. I gave it 5 stars. I mean, I'm a pretty nice book rating person. If it made me happy and I enjoyed it, and it's like 5 stars.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think it's great that we love books and we read different books, but we also read some of the same books, and
mhm.
that we are able to easily talk about many, many titles, and it's very exciting. So I'm so excited that we're getting this started, and I'm so
Yeah.
excited to talk to you guys about books. And are there any other titles that we want to mention to wrap up, or are
Well,
we?
I think we will put these in the notes because there
Yeah.
is a pretty long list and we can go on and on.
Yes.
But definitely, I highly encourage anyone who loves books, who loves reading, whether it's romance, fiction, any type of fiction, to join us inside ReaderSpace. It is a wonderful, safe community. I'm one of the hosts that will host something every Wednesday night. The first Wednesday of the month is a BYOB, Bring Your Own Books. The second, I do some kind of reader space social, and it's always themed around books, libraries, bookstores,
And
Jane Austen tea parties.
Mhm.
yeah, in August we have two socials. We have
Yes.
one on
In well, in August, we have one that is a romance special edition because
Mhm.
August is Romance Month, Romance
Mhm.
Awareness Month. So, and we also have author meet and greets, and we have Catherine Mann joining us. And that would be the third Wednesday, the August 19th, she'll be joining us.
Yes.
And then at the end of the month, we always have a BY book of the month. And this month it is The Kiss Quotient by Helen
Mhm.
Huang, I think
oh,
is
Mhm.
her
I
name.
love that book.
So yes, that is our read for for this month's book of the month, but definitely consider joining, and we'll talk all about books.
Very cool. Well, I hope you all have a great week and that it contains a lot of great reading. So thank you so much. And Lorelei and Kaylin, thank you for being here. And
thank you.
This was so much fun. I love talking about books.
Until next time.
Until next time. Don't forget to tune in to our Facebook Live every Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern for our fun book talks and great book recommendations. See you next week.